This was the regular council meeting on Wednesday evening of Oxford Town Council. Short agenda, not much to talk about. Some housekeeping stuff, the usual business of council. Of course, all the town department reports happen at the Committee of the Whole meeting on the other second week of the month. So last night, they dealt with some legislation on water control, cross-connection systems, stuff that doesn't really apply to the majority of people that would have no great interest in it, but it is something that the province requires the town to do with their water system to protect it and to make sure there are no contaminants in the system. So Oxford residents should rest easy knowing that their water supply is well taken care of. The town approved the Equity and Anti-Racism Plan for 2025. That deals with, of course, how the town hires and treats the public and the expectations for diversity and inclusion. But perhaps the one thing that was took up most of the time last night, and that was this winter was a rough one for the town Public Works Department's equipment. Their snow plow for sidewalk usage and salt spreading has been broken more than it's been in use, it seems. So the town and Public Works got together and decided that it's time to toss that sucker into the sale pile, perhaps. But they are going ahead with the purchase of a new sidewalk, or rather a new to them used sidewalk plow and attachments to make sure that they're able to get the snow cleared in the winter on Oxford's sidewalks. So that was the big topic for last night.
If I could just interrupt on that one, I really like your description there of the broken sidewalk plow, that you want to toss that sucker into the sale pile. You smooth-talking salesman, you.
Well, thankfully, I'm not responsible for offloading used municipal equipment. But it has cost the town more in maintenance and repairs than it's worth. So they're going to buy out the lease on the machine and go with another model that they expect over the next number of years. It should have a useful life of several years. And ultimately, all the money should balance out if they get a decent price when and if they decide to sell the current tractor. They may also decide to keep it around and use it for as a backup machine and for other kind of duties.
Yeah, I did ask the mayor yesterday about the fact that it must be difficult with a small town, small budget, when you have to buy something that you only use for one service. And he quickly reminded me and corrected me, said, no, we can change the attachments on the front of it from a plow to a brush to a pick or something. He said it'll get used year round. So I thought that's a bonus.
Oh, indeed. These things they don't just plow snow. They're used for many, many things. And the other thing, when we're talking about these expenditures, the council had the option of going for a brand new machine that would cost them upwards of $200,000. They ended up going with an option that would get them a used machine with hopefully still a decent useful life and the required attachments for about $48,000. They're always juggling the numbers down there. It's a tough job to try to find out how to use the taxpayers' money to deliver the service they have to deliver. They have all my respect for that very difficult job. And of course, a lot of us are used to putting off those big purchases. We put them on a payment plan, we put it on the credit card, and we just chip away at it month after month until we're owners outright.
Now, I know that it wasn't per se on the agenda, but it's a subject that seems to be dear to a lot of councillors' hearts these days. And we were talking this morning already to the mayor of Cumberland about the final response, the written letter response to Minister John Lohr about seeking the approval of the municipality to the government's plan to reopen discussions on fracking and other mining potential. And the county did not give him that holus bolus blanket approval, but rather said, we'll take a look at each and every project as it arises. And I was a bit surprised by that, but the further discussion led to the understanding that I didn't realize that Cumberland County has the greatest potential for natural gas deposits and fracking in all of Nova Scotia. And here we are thinking that we're all against it. And yet, if this is where the big puddle of natural gas exists, we may be open to that debate more than we think.
Oh, indeed. And that's something we looked at a couple of weeks ago when Mayor of Oxford asked Council for their backing to communicate the town's desire that the province not open up the area to fracking, to the potential for fracking exploration and development. It didn't come up on the agenda last night. I guess the town considers it settled in terms of what their opinion is. It's been communicated to the province. But as we saw yesterday, Bill 6 has gone through final reading. I don't know if it's been declared into law yet, but that could happen any day.
That's right. The point being made by the mayor of Cumberland this morning was that Oxford said no thanks, period. Amherst said likewise, totally opposed to any kind of fracking. And the county leaving the door open. Their letter actually says the words, maybe yes, maybe no. And they want to look at each one of them. But generally speaking, they're looking for, give us real good proof that it is now safe, that they've come up with new technology, that there's a good reason for going after this, not just because it's there. And generally speaking, the council is very hesitant to want to support fracking. So I think even if Cumberland presents the greatest opportunity, it would appear it would be an uphill battle to find enough people who would support it just the same. So
I think you have it in one. Yes.
There you go. And as you say, it was a short meeting, so what else?
Well, the other great development this week happened on Tuesday evening. The Oxford Community Centre Committee held a public meeting to provide an update on the developments of our new community centre. A few interesting points that came out of that meeting that we hadn't realized from the past. We've seen the latest layout. Things continue to change slightly from month to month or from update to update. But the community center building, as anybody who's driven through Oxford down through Lower Main Street will know that the metal skeleton is up, and that's a massive advancement on the project. We now know how it's laying out in respect to other properties in the area. It's a big building, around 33,000 square feet, and it's going to definitely change the face of the town. Now, what we've discovered from this public meeting, first of all, the committee is continuing with the message that this is going to be a center that the community will need to support and will need to participate in running. They're looking for specifically people who are interested in volunteering to fulfill various duties at the new community center. So there were sign-up sheets on Tuesday night for people who were interested, and they can also participate or express their interest through the social media page for the Community Center Committee. Things that are interesting. As people know, the building is now roughly, after last fall's announcement with the provincial and federal and municipal government officials, costing around $24.5 million. With the funding that they provided so far, they're running up in about a $3 million deficit to kind of put the last nail in the wall and hang the last picture on the wall. So they're doing fundraising activities, including a wonderfully interesting upcoming comedy festival at the Oxford Capitol Theatre, which people can check out our website to find details upon. The community center is not going to be known as the Oxford Community Center.
Drum roll, please.
I was waiting for that. Thank you, Bill. As part of the fulfilling that funding picture for this building, they are going to be selling naming rights, not only for individual rooms and parts of the building. If you wanted to, for example, purchase the naming rights and name the Oxford library space after your great-grandma, who you cared for very deeply, you could certainly go ahead and do that. But larger than that, they're looking at corporate donations and specifically someone willing to come up and put a big check out to put a name on the front of the building.
You mean like the Mark Rushton Center?
Well, I was thinking more like the Hello Oxford Community Center, but I'll have to check my the checking account to see if we can pull that off.
Yeah, I think you better just go through the dryer and check the pockets in your pants. Yeah,
the couch. Look at the couch, the couch cushions. Yeah, so it's it's moving ahead. It's up there. The final date for the ribbon cutting has been pushed now because of delays in getting some materials provided and construction moving. We're now looking at a spring 2026 ribbon cutting to open the doors of the Oxford Community Centre, or whatever it's going to be called.
That sounds like a long time away, but it's really 1 year. We're spring right now for 25, so one more of the winters and we're there.
And frankly, I think a spring ribbon cutting is a much better idea than a miserable winter mushy day in December, which was the original plan.
You have my vote.
Yeah, so we saw a few more details of the layout of the kind of the dressing of the building and that sort of thing, but still a long ways to go.
You mentioned changes with these things. Can you highlight what changed from the last report to this?
Just very minor things. Location, for example, a year ago we were shown floor plans that showed the library occupying the extreme right corner of the building. That space under the new floor plan is now the fitness center, with the library being pushed one unit further in. It appears to have reduced the square footage somewhat, but we really don't have any of those final details until we see the actual final blueprints for the place.
But everybody is kind of holding their breath and excited and very proud.
Yeah, whatever we end up with, it's something we don't have now. And it's going to be a large, important building. And the community center, Dave Hoffman was in town to kind of lead the presentation last night. And he stressed quite frequently the point that although it's located in Oxford, this is not just the Oxford Community Center. It's the Oxford and Area Community Center. The Community Center Committee met with members of the Municipal Council and the Mayor, and the message is quite clear that this is not just for Oxford residents. It would be impossible to run a $24 million building like this with a population of 1,200 people without drawing from the larger community.
Well, and, go back enough days, back to the horse and buggy days, it would have been just Oxford. But we still have that in the back of our mind that we put up the boundaries around the town, and those boundaries sometimes keep the other people out. But that's long gone, and we are very mobile today. So, running down the road to Oxford to go to the center, go to the arena, whatever it might be, that's very common. So Oxford boundaries are not boundaries to keep people out at all.
No, and putting on my historical cap for a moment, I mean, if we go back to turn-of-the-century Oxford, when this town was a booming economic center, Oxford was a hub of economic activity that drew in all of the surrounding communities. So there are a lot of family and economic and social connections that certainly extend far beyond the town's limits.